The latest, just a few minutes from the first government shutdown in 17 years. We have from OMB, a directive issued to all the federal agencies. Unfortunately, we do not have a clear indication that Congress will act in time for the president to sign a continuing resolution before the end of the day tomorrow, October 1st. Therefore, agencies should now execute plans for an orderly shutdown due to the absence of appropriations. Joining me now is Congressman Dan Kildee, Democrat from Michigan, and Joy Reid is still with us. Congressman Kildee, I don't believe you've been through one of these before. What do you think of what's happened tonight?
Well, I'm frustrated and I'm sad and I'm angry. We have a small number of members of the Republican conference that have decided that democracy needs to be suspended rather than bringing what is a very reasonable and we think conservative CR to the floor, one that we know would pass. They've decided to use these tactics.
Let me ask you that. You say you know it would pass. You know that for a fact? I mean, were the votes counted by Leader Pelosi, that you know that there would have been the votes there to pass this CR in the House if it come to the floor?
Well, I got that from talking to Republicans, especially a lot of the newer members, but others as well, that said that if a clean CR as went through the Senate would come to the floor of the House, that they would vote for to prevent a shutdown. But the leadership of the House is so weak that they can't fight against the minority of the House that controls things.
It's funny, we've talked so much about the Hastert rule, which is a majority of the majority. It's not even clear that's necessarily what is at odds here. I mean, it's even possible it's a minority of the majority that would have voted against a clean CR. It's possible a majority. Earlier today, when I was going back and forth with Robert Costa, who's knows this as well as anyone in terms of his sources, he was talking about 100 to 125 votes in the Republican caucus.
That's right.
Just for a clean CR to just avoid a shutdown.
This could be avoided in an instant. All John Boehner has to do.
Right now, he could do it.
He could just manfully get onto the floor of the House of Representatives and say to those 80 Republicans who come from what they call it, what Ryan Lizza calls the suicide district.
That's a Charles Krauthammer line.
I'm sorry, Charles Krauthammer, the kamikaze district, and say, hey guys, I've got 200 Democrats who are going to vote for a clean CR, and I got like 100 Republicans who are going to do it as well. If y'all don't want to do it, I'll get the votes from over there, sit down in the corner and be quiet. He could do it like now.
And Congressman, what do you think of that?
That's exactly right. The number that is the CR number is their number. This is what they have been asking for. We have asked for conference on this budget since April 23rd, when Chris Van Hollen offered his resolution. I co-sponsored it, asking for the House and Senate to appoint conferees. Boehner wouldn't do it, not probably because he didn't want to, but because he does not control the Republican conference. I'm not sure who does.
Yeah,
it seems as though the Speaker of the House is Ted Cruz at this point in time.
Very much so. I mean, I think that's been shown to be clear. I mean, let's all remember, Speaker Boehner said this is a doomed strategy. Of course we won't do this.
That's right.
And he's come 180 degrees on this, and he's now sort of pretending to embrace it. But it's very clear this has been done against his will at every single turn.
Because there has to be somebody that's got leverage over the conference beside the crazy or the base that they answer to. And it's almost as if we need the hedge to come in and say, you know what, we'll fund a primary challenge against you if you don't raise the debt ceiling. Or you almost need another source of leverage, because literally the Chamber of Commerce faction in the Republican Party no longer has leverage. Neither does Boehner.
I want to briefly throw up something that is another variant of the shutdown cam, which is the panda cam. The panda cam, the beloved panda cam. That is the giant panda cam from the Washington, D.C. Zoo. That is out right now because of the government shutdown that is about to happen in about 50 seconds. That is a small, slightly humorous example of what's going to happen, but there's going to be a lot of things that aren't very funny about this government shutdown, particularly if it extends. And given what Congressman Kildee has said and what Joy Reid has said about the absence of strong leadership in just the House Republican caucus as a logistical matter, I think we could be in for a little bit of a ride here. Congressman Dan Kildee of Michigan, MSNBC contributor, Joy Reid, thank you both for your time this evening.
Thanks, Chris.
And so, as the clock ticks down to 0,